This is day 7 of Swift for my coding journey, so check out Swift UI when you get the chance. Today I learned even more about closures, but let's just get into what I've been coding so far. So today I learned that I could also pass in parameters in my closure while the parameters are inside a function. Sounds kind of weird, hopefully that makes sense, but because yesterday it was just like this. Now it's just a type in there. So at first I would create the closure independently and then call it later on. But here with trailing closures, I could do the same thing, but just less steps, making it look a lot cleaner, a lot more neat and eligible. So now passing a return in a closure while it being in a function's parameters. Hopefully that made sense too. But same thing like before, because this one said void up top. Whoops, spelling's off. But now it's just the string. I also noticed too that when it came to the returning a string within like the closure statement here, that I had to store the value into something in order for me to catch it after I'm calling it here. Because before it would just print out something in parentheses, which I was like, wait, I did everything right. How come it's not going through? So this part is definitely important because I'm storing the results of the closure in the variable, and that's good to know because now I could reuse it everywhere else. Oh, these are shortcuts. So Swift infers a lot of stuff, especially if what you're writing is very simple. So it'll just be like, hey, I know it's a string and a closure that's returning a string. I'm gonna just say, hey, get rid of the parentheses, just put the arrow there, take it a step further, get rid of the returning string, leave that there. You know what, screw it. The name you made, get rid of the end keyword and the return keyword because I already know what's it returning based off of what you defined here. So if you already defined it, I got you. But I think when it comes to making up your own names and the parameters, I think you should really have a name. So that way when you're debugging this stuff, you know exactly what it is that the issue is, wherever the issue is. So now I also learned about closures having multiple parameters. Same thing with functions too, accepting multiple parameters. So this is just another way for me to call out something but just add something else to it. And I think this does it in numerical values, so 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. when it comes to making their own names. But like I said before, it's good to have names in the functions you're calling so that way you could really understand what it is that it's doing and like what you expect it to be. Returning closures from functions. Same thing like how functions return everything else, you can also return a closure. So there's nothing that you can't do. So this is how the function is returning, but it's returning an actual closure. It says a closure, there's nothing to return. I put it as void.